So you made it to part 3 of 4 for the Deadlift Blueprint Manual. If you're new here, make sure you grab the manual down below in the description. It's completely free. This way you can watch the videos as you're going through the manual. And please don't skip part 1 and 2 because they're really important in learning how to do a proper deadlift, especially if you're new to lifting weights. And now you're probably wondering, what equipment should you use with your deadlift? A barbell, hex bar, kettlebell, dumbbells. You have all these options. So which one should you pick? Just use the equipment you have available. Don't stress out over trying to find the best equipment out there. And if you have a specific goal, maybe you want to be able to deadlift for a powerlifting competition, then of course you will be using the barbell as your main choice. This is the order of difficulty when it comes to learning the deadlift. This is how I teach in order of difficulty. It will be the kettlebell first, then the hex bar, and then the barbell. This doesn't make the barbell the best option. It's just the hardest one to learn out of the 3 if you're first starting off. And if you are using dumbbells, I would do Romanian deadlifts with them. I would not do regular deadlifts because they're just a bit awkward to handle when you're doing regular deadlifts. I'll show you how to do RDLs in a little bit. So with the kettlebell deadlift, you want to stand right over the kettlebell with your feet right up against the sides of the kettlebell. You want to grab the horn, which is the top part of the kettlebell, and you want to sit your butt back, lean over, and you want to think as if you're trying to break the handles. This will help you engage your back a little bit. Hips forward until you stand up straight, squeeze your butt, and then slowly bring it back down. Then you have this hex bar equipment. Not everyone will have this in their gym, but if you do have it, I highly recommend it. You see me using this diamond shaped bar here. It's the exact same thing. I just didn't have access to the hex bar while I was recording this video. You want to stand in the middle of the bar, grab the 2 handles on the side as you lean over, hold your shoulders down and back, and then just stand up tall and squeeze your butt. Same thing here. We're just doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Barbell deadlift, this is probably the most common equipment that everyone has in their gym. You want to stand so half your foot is being covered by the bar. From there, you want to lean over, grab the bar, hips back, and then pull your shoulders down and back, stand up tall, and squeeze your butt. This exercise here is also 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. And for those of you who just have dumbbells, just do Romanian deadlifts, and here's how you do them. Just grab the dumbbells so they're about 45 degrees when you're holding them out in front of you. Don't have them completely to the side. Turn them out to the front a little bit, and from there, you want to keep the weights close to you. Push your butt back, lean over, get into the same hinge position, and then just stand up tall and squeeze your butt. 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. Later on in the next part, I will show you how to set up your sets and reps so you don't plateau. But for a beginner, someone who's completely new, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps is a great starting point for them. And here are the common mistakes you should avoid doing when you're deadlifting. You don't want to let the bar drift forward and away from you. You also don't want to start with your butt too low, or else you're going to lose your balance and your hips are going to shoot up first. So make sure your hips are starting off in the hinge position. You don't want to be in a squat with your butt all the way down. You want to make sure you're locking all your joints out at once when you stand up tall. You don't want to lock out your knees first and then lift the bar up, or else you'll just be using your back halfway through the movement. It will be very difficult to lift up the bar like that. And a very important thing to keep in mind is making sure you pull out the slack out of the barbell or the hex bar if you're using those 2 equipment. So every bar has a spacing in between the plate itself and the actual equipment. As you see here, as I'm tugging it, you see that little gap. You want to make sure you pull that out first before you actually lift up the bar. You'll feel a lot stronger. You might not feel it now if you're using lightweight, but if you're using heavy weight, you will feel a big difference in just doing this one little thing. If you can't reach down all the way without your back rounding with the equipment, just elevate the kettlebell with a box or yoga block. You can also elevate the barbell or the hex bar with plates. This way you won't round out your back as you're reaching down. And then as you get more comfortable, your hamstring mobility improves. You could just remove the plates and you can do it off the floor. Let's talk about sumo. Not sumo wrestling, but the sumo stance. Some people call it cheating, but I think it's a great option if you want to have less stress on your lower back when you're doing this exercise. It's just another variation that you can do. All it is, just a wider stance. Instead of having your feet shoulder width apart, you have your feet in a sumo stance, so wide, feet pointed out, and you'll feel more of your inner thigh, your adductors. Those are the muscles that will be working a bit more. Your quads, the front part of your leg, will be working a little more. I like to have both variants in the workout program. For 4 to 8 weeks you can do regular deadlifts, then maybe 4 to 8 weeks you can switch over to sumo deadlifts. This way you get a little bit of everything and you get to work different muscle groups. So this is Future Terry here. As I was editing this video, I realized that I forgot to talk about breathing. So let's talk about it. So the mistake that a lot of people make when they're breathing is that they breathe into their chest and their upper body like this, and then they shrug up and keep all the tension up here. But what you want to do instead is just relax the shoulders, breathe in through your nose and then in through your mouth if you want more air. to create tension around your core area and your lower back, because this is what's going to keep you safe as well as creating the tension needed to lift heavy when you're deadlifting. What you want to do is make sure you breathe in through your nose, then breathe in through your mouth if you need more air. And then you should see this lower part of my torso inflating, and then from here create tension. So what I did there was just push the top part of my mouth with my tongue like this. Create that tension as if you're doing a crunch or someone's about to punch you in the stomach really hard, and you just want to absorb that punch. That's how you should be breathing when you do your deadlift. When you go down and grab the bar, take a nice deep breath in, create that tension, and then lift the bar up. This does increase your blood pressure slightly. So if you do have very high blood pressure, just be careful when you're using this type of breathing technique. This is just called a Valsalva maneuver. So just be aware of that. That will complete part 3 of 4 for the deadlift blueprint manual here. And make sure you go see part 1 and 2. Like I said before, don't neglect those if you're new. And the next part is going to go over exactly how many sets and reps you should be doing, how to break plateaus. I'll show you some other exercises you can do to incorporate into your routine to help you break a plateau if you're really trying to get strong at this exercise. See you in the next one.